What is it I think I need to hear or I heard at the low points in my life, especially emotionally? And I don't know that I necessarily heard it from somebody else or I heard it from myself, my own voice. And it took me a lifetime to understand the answer. But at my lowest points, Bob, God put you on this earth for a reason. It's up to you to discover what that reason is. I have no idea where that ever came from, where that thought originated. For me, the lowest physically was those periods when you're drinking excessive amounts of alcohol and you stop, the body physically goes through a reaction. And those for me were my lowest points. It's like, look what you've done to yourself, that you're sitting here, you can't hold a cup of coffee, right? The things I'd say to myself. And the thought would creep into my mind that you need to go through this, whatever it is exactly you're going through. And it's going to last for however long it's going to last, because God put you on this earth for a purpose. There was a reason God had you taken out of that adoption home when you were an infant. There's a purpose. And God's not going to hand you an index card with the answer as to what your purpose is. It's up to you to find out, discover on your own what that purpose is. Then it took me a lifetime. Beyond fatherhood, beyond marriage, beyond job success, beyond a lot of things. And I think I had to go through what I had to go through with my alcoholism, experience the consequences personally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, to have what I needed to have to come to a realization that my purpose is to be of value, to be of help to other people that are suffering from substance abuse disorder. My entire life has led me to this point. If you're watching right at this very moment because you're struggling with relapse behavior, you're caught up in that repetitive cycle of recovery. You haven't given up. You haven't given up on yourself. You know you got an issue. You know you got an issue with drugs, alcohol, abuse, but you haven't given up. I wish I had known early on in my recovery efforts that there was a true sense of hope out there. I never felt it. I never saw it. I'd see other people get sober, talk about how long they'd been clean and sober, blah, blah, blah. What do I know today that I wish I had known back in my early efforts of sobriety? There was hope. For anybody who's watching, wherever you are in your recovery journey, I can tell you from personal experience, there is hope. Hope can come in different forms, different varieties. For me, I discovered my hope on two different occasions, if you will, two different ways. The first sense of hope was I was shown a picture by some medical professionals, some doctors, when I was at Karen, physical pictures of my brain, and they could show me where the disease of alcoholism, addiction, was located in my brain. It was physically there. And when I finally understood that, the sense of hope that I received, knowing that my alcoholism and my alcoholic behavior wasn't entirely due to my shortcomings, gave me a real sense of hope. Yeah, I had a disease. I had a disease lodged in my head. But the disease of alcoholism, substance abuse, is a disease it's manageable. It's not curable. I will never refer to myself, unlike other people, there's different thoughts on this. I will never refer to myself as a recovered alcoholic. I am an alcoholic in recovery. I am a recovering alcoholic because the disease that's in my brain, in my head, is still there. It's never going away, so I'm told by the medical field. So discovering I had this disease in my brain just gave me a great sense of relief that it all wasn't because of my doing, my ineptitude, because I was a bad person. The second phase was about 6 years after that particular experience with the doctors. It was a process I went through, process of coaching, actually, that I went through, where I discovered that the reason over 40 years that I never gave up on trying to find long-term permanent sobriety is because there was another part of me that I had lost touch with through my active alcoholism. A person I was born with, a person who I think was very active in my childhood. I had a wonderful childhood. I was very outgoing, popular, all that baloney. And then somewhere along the line, I started to change and lost touch with that person. But they were still there. And it's my inner hero, my inner champion, that has been with me all during my life, and during my worst moments of alcoholism would not allow me to give up on myself, would not allow me to give up on my recovery. Now that I've rediscovered that person that's been part of me since birth, the biggest impact it's had is on my self-talk, that voice in my head and what I say to myself. When I was actively drinking, that self-talk was the worst in the world, right? You're a horrible person. You'll never get this. Look what you've done. Now it's, you're the man living a life of recovery. Have been for quite a while. You're proactively helping others dealing with the same disease and living a life on a daily basis where you're thriving, you're enjoying life. And at the age of 72, newly engaged. That's a pretty powerful life to have for somebody that survived the experiences I survived that were directly due to and caused by my alcoholism. 72, I got a lot of life left ahead of me. I've learned, I think to a degree, how to stay out of my own way. And when I feel the urge to kind of step on the gas a little bit and move forward, to actually do it. It's a great feeling. Being lethargic or uninspired or dormant, whatever the right word is, it's not a healthy place for anybody to be, let alone an alcoholic. I mean, you want your mind active and aware and positive and have rewarding experiences going around. Keep feeding that brain with positive thoughts and experiences. Yeah, it's a different life, but I'm not shy at all about my gratitude for it, how much I'm enjoying it. And I'm first to admit, I have my moments. Everybody has their moments. But overall, to think at 72, I'd be mentally, physically, spiritually in a stronger place than I've been, perhaps in my entire life, to be engaged to an absolutely wonderful, wonderful woman, but selfishly realizing that, yeah, I'm not going to have to grow old alone. That was scaring me. That had entered my mind. And now I've got somebody with whom I can enjoy life experiences every day.